This is Lego Mario and this is Lego Sonic, and in this video I'm going to be building armies for both of them with some fully custom mechs and modified sets. The first set I'm going to be working with is the Mario question mark block, which came out in 2021. This set has some really cool hidden features. If you push here, the top flips open to reveal some micro scale worlds that are based on the Super Mario 64 video game. There are references to some of the most famous levels, and at the top is Peach's castle with this tiny Mario figure. He's so small that he doesn't have any arms or legs, so I think this is the perfect opportunity to make a mech for him. I grabbed a small red bracket piece to create the seat for the mech and attached some parts to the back to make a connection point for the arms. Everything is held together by a pointed slope, and after that I attached a T-bar to the bottom for the hips. I decided to use blue for the legs to match Mario's overall color, and I used a clip for the ankle with a small brown piece for his shoes. After connecting both legs, I used two different clip pieces for the arms, and this mech is finished. I think the final product looks pretty funny, but it's a great starting point for the army and a good reference point for making a supersized version, which will be coming up soon. The next mech I want to build is for Sonic. I started by creating a blue cockpit, which is based on the frame of this Ninjago mech. After getting everything color swapped, I added some thrusters to the back of the cockpit, and we'll come back to this area in a bit. With Sonic in the pilot position, I closed off the front of the seating area and moved on to the hips. I used some grill slopes and an armor piece for detailing and snapped the two sections together. Moving on to the legs, I decided to rotate the ball sockets 90 degrees to create a different silhouette for the thigh, and I added some tiles and slopes to clean things up. I built up the lower leg and clipped it together with the thigh and moved on to the feet. I wanted to use the same colors as Sonic's shoes to mimic the character design, so I chose to use red and white parts for this. After getting both legs connected, I started working on the arms. I decided to use the same upper shoulder construction as the Knuckles mech so that it would feel like they belonged together, but I changed the design for the rest of the arm so Sonic can actually have some elbows. I decided to use white just like Sonic's gloves and got the arm connected to the mech, leaving only a few more steps to finish this up. I wanted to make use of the speed sphere that comes with pretty much every Sonic set, so I built some handles onto them and clipped it into Sonic's hand so he can wield it as an energy shield. I decided to do the same for the other arm and got everything connected before the final step. One thing I like about the Knuckles mech is the slopes used on the back to mimic the design of his hair, so I wanted to do the same thing with Sonic. I attached some Technic panels to his back, and now everything is complete. I feel like this mech turned out way better than I expected, and it feels like it's based off of the Sonic minifigure. It makes the perfect first addition to the Sonic army. Next up, I want to build a mech for this Mario figure. I recently bought the standard cart set, and I think it has a lot of great pieces that we can steal to make the mech a lot more exciting. I'm going with more of an open cockpit design for this mech, and I'm going to start by adding some socket pieces where we can attach the arms and a large red slope to taper off the back. I pulled this piece from the front of the cart, and I think it looks great on this part of the mech. For the upper arms, I used a red armor piece along with some tires from the cart to make it look like it's a transforming mech. I kept things pretty simple on the forearms, and then I dug through my Bionicle parts bin and found these hands, which look pretty similar to Mario's gloves. After getting both arms attached to the torso, I moved on to building the legs. I used rounded armor pieces and a large black round brick to mimic the shape of a wheel. I used a small dish piece for the kneecap and got things connected before starting on the feet. I decided to use brown since it's the same color as Mario's shoes, and after getting those done, I attached both legs to the mech before adding some final details. I used these lever pieces as control sticks for the mech and attached a shell shooter and banana to the shoulders so Mario can have a few ranged weapons. I attached the glider from the cart to the back of the mech so it can have some flight ability, and this thing is finally done. For as goofy as the Mario figure is in Lego, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think it matches the character really well, and the only thing that could make it better is if Lego decided to release an actual Mario minifigure someday. Lego, if you're listening, please just do it. We all want it. The next addition to the Sonic army is the Death Egg robot. This set is based on the mech from the Sonic video games, and it actually looks pretty accurate in my opinion. It would be cool if it was a little bigger so they could add some knees, but overall I think they did a great job with the design, and it's an easy addition to things. Another set I picked up is Super Sonic versus the Egg Drillster. The Drillster reminds me of this Power Miner's Thunder Driller from when I was a kid, but it's actually based on the Sonic video games where it's made multiple appearances over the years. The set also comes with Shadow the Hedgehog and a wall to the base, which is made to explode when you run the Drillster through it.
Nice throw!
You also get Supersonic, who comes with a speed sphere that can be used to knock Eggman out of the drillster. Additionally, you get an egg pawn and a gunwing. Altogether, this adds quite a few units to the Sonic army, really bolstering the numbers. So let's move back over to Mario to even things out a little. The question mark block has another hidden compartment with this small Bowser figure. I think I can work with this, but he's a little small for my liking, so we're going to change that with some help from the sponsor of today's video. Bamboo Lab was kind enough to send me their flagship 3D printer, the X1 Carbon, and I've been having so much fun with it. This printer is super simple to use, and I found it so easy to set up even though I'm not a 3D printing expert by any means. The machine prints super fast, and I've been really impressed by the quality of my prints since I started using it. There are thousands of designs available to print for free from MakerWorld, which is where I started looking for a solution to my tiny Bowser problem. I came across this model of a Super Mushroom by Playco 3D, and after just a few hours of printing, everything was ready for assembly. I used a little bit of glue and everything snapped together perfectly. Make sure you check out Bamboo Lab with the link down below so you can get your own 3D printer and start making awesome stuff. Let's get Bowser powered up. This Bowser is a $250 Lego set, and it comes with some cool features. You can push here to turn his head back and forth, and if you pull on this lever on the side, you can shoot a large fire projectile out of his mouth. Bowser is absolutely massive, but do you know what else is massive? Mecha Bowser from Super Mario Sunshine. This design looks pretty ridiculous, but I think I can take a few elements from it to upgrade the buildable Bowser set. I'll start by removing the sides of his mouth and lower jaw so I can replace them with something a little more robust. I made a similar design to the original jaw piece, but I used gray so it looks like metal. I also made some more mechanical looking jaw bones to hold everything together, and once it's reassembled, I think we're looking pretty good. I want to give Bowser some more firepower, and the set actually comes with the perfect parts for this. I grabbed the towers from the display stand and connected them to Bowser's shell so he can have some mounted flamethrower cannons. With these two quick modifications, Bowser is fully loaded and ready to tear things up. I think he actually looks a lot better than I expected, and I might keep him like this because I feel like I could add some more mods to him in the future. With such a big addition to Team Mario, I made my way back to MakerWorld and found the perfect model to add to Sonic's lineup. This giant Sonic minifigure looks awesome, and the multicolored head can be printed all in one go because of the automatic material system. The printer can swap colors back and forth throughout the print process, so I can work on other things while this runs in the background. While that's happening, I want to get this Knuckles mech added to the army, but first I need to fix something real quick. I love the design of this mech even though it doesn't have working elbows and knees. The only issue I have is that the knees are completely empty. To fix this, I'm just going to add a couple of round plates to this gap here, and I think that's a pretty major improvement. This really is a very simple upgrade, but I prefer this look to the official set. After getting Knuckles and Rouge added to the army, it's time to assemble the giant Sonic minifigure. This print was really easy to put together, and I think the final model is great. It has a nice weight to it, and I'm impressed by the way it all connects together, just like a Lego minifigure. This is the fourth Sonic in the army, and arguably the most powerful one because of how big he is compared to all the others. I recently picked up this Goomba battle pack, which comes with a seesaw and a little tree that you can use to shoot Goomba across the table. I bought a few more because they were on sale, and now I have a little army. These guys need a leader for their unit, so I decided to build a mech for one of them. I'm going for a metal exosuit look with this mech and giving it some short, stubby legs since Goomba aren't exactly all that tall. I built some large feet for stomping on things and got the legs attached to the body. I'm using clips and bars to create the back of the cockpit, and I added some sensors to the top of the mech above the Goomba's head. Because Goombas don't have arms, I figured it would need to control the mech with its brain, so I added some more sensors to the sides. I built the arms using the same techniques as the legs and gave the mech a rotary cannon on one arm and built a hand on the other side. I built another weapon using some bar pieces and a spearhead for the top. After getting it attached, the mech is finished. I like this mech a lot. It's not very complicated, but I think it works well, and I'm sure the Goomba that's piloting it is having the time of his life. It's not that often that you get the chance to have arms and real weapons when you're an armless creature that's sole purpose for existing is to get squished by Mario. The next mech is the Tails Cyclone with Metal Sonic. Does this count as a mech or a vehicle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It's a pretty cool set, and it has a basic but effective transformation feature where you can fold the legs up and it turns into a drivable tank sort of thing, which is really fun. This makes a great addition to the army, and it comes along with Metal Sonic, which definitely helps out as well. I want to give Mario's army a bit more of a fighting chance, so I found another model on MakerWorld by Playco 3D. I printed all the parts for the blue shell, and I was impressed again by the intelligent design used here. I snapped everything together and glued on the external pieces, which all fit perfectly. The end result looks looks really satisfying and makes a great addition to the army. The last set I bought for Sonic's army is Super Shadow versus the Bio-Lizard. The minifigures that come with this set look really good. Shadow especially has some very impressive printing. The model for the Bio-Lizard is pretty accurate, and you can use the Speed Sphere to attack it and knock out this piece, which has a Chaos Emerald in it. After getting those guys added into the army, the last upgrade I want to give to Mario's army is this Superstar. I found this design, and it's a really quick print that uses the automatic material system. So with just the push of a button, I was able to print the star and pull it right from the print bed as a single completed unit. With Sonic's army being so much bigger than Mario's, this power-up should make for an even matchup. Which army do you think would win if they went to battle with each other? Let me know in the comment section down below. On top of all the cool prints that you saw today, I've also been using my 3D printer to upgrade my LEGO storage and print custom drawer dividers designed by Mech Builds. There are endless possibilities with these printers, so don't forget to check them out with the link down below. Thanks again to Bamboo Lab for sponsoring this video.